Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Wendy De Rosa, and I'm here for another Facebook Live. I am going to open just with a grounding, just to set our space and give some time for people to log in and join the video. So we'll just take a moment and allow ourselves to be here in our bodies. You can bring your breath down into your low belly in your seat. And then envision that around your hips and your sit bones, your low belly and your low spine is this very strong beam of light or a tree trunk. Envisioning it like a tree gives that sturdy sense of rooting down into the earth. And so we'll allow those roots to extend even deeper than the crest of the earth, allowing your grounding cord to tap into a more solid, sturdy, steady, perhaps even slower pace to help you get connected to yourself. And we'll ask for a great sphere of grace around you as you arrive in this space, that this state of grace is here to bring an essence that supports you in connecting to yourself, your soul. I pray that your energy is here. Anything outside of this moment can be returned to itself. I pray for a greater arc of light around this space for your growth, for your support, for your deepening, and for a higher holding, a unification and protection. And thank you to the divine, to grace, and to the light that moves through us. So be it, and so it is. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is an interesting and slightly different type of Facebook Live than I've offered, or video that I've offered, but I'm super excited about it, and I would love to share this conversation because it's a big one, and I think it might also help provide a bit of a panning out view on what might be occurring or happening for you, whether or not you're healing within yourself or whether you're a practitioner and working with clients. And most likely, if you're a practitioner, you're healing within yourself as well. So we're working with inner and also working with outer or with others in this topic today. So the topic is on how the energy healing world is changing and how we will unify. So I want to talk about, there's two parts to this. I want to talk about how the energy healing world is changing. And then I'm going to share with you an opportunity to discuss more about how we will unify. So within energy work, I just want to be clear that energy healing is a very, very broad topic. So lots of things fall in the umbrella of energy healing, ranging from modalities like Reiki or intuitive energy healing, or even tapping can be a form of energy healing. There's quantum touch, there's cranial sacral, even acupuncture can be a form of energy healing, and quite honestly, so can therapy or therapeutic techniques, in that anything that takes us into deeper states of consciousness to shift the energy underneath a symptom that we're experiencing can fall under the umbrella of energy healing. We're moving someone's state of consciousness from one state, which might be, for example, stress or anxiety, to another state, which might be relaxation and calm, and helping to move what might be underneath those symptoms in the body. And we do that through breath and awareness and guided tools into places in the body where energy is stored, and it's shifting that energy in the body. And there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of modalities that do this. So it's a big umbrella. And I want to talk for a moment about the energy healing world and why it's changing or what's happening in the world that's allowing this to shift and morph right now. So part of it is that we are going through an awakening, a consciousness awakening, and in that there are people who are waking up to their gifts. And they're waking up to their gifts sometimes because their gifts are becoming symptomatic. I'm becoming overly sensitive. I'm starting to have, my intuition is increasing, or I'm starting to have, visions or, information that's coming through I'm starting to feel things before they happen, for example. So somebody is waking up to the light inside them, to their heart's calling, to their intuitive abilities and gifts, and sometimes it can be somewhat symptomatic before there's actually an awareness of what's actually happening. What is this awakening that's happening, which can set us on a journey, and that journey takes us into learning more about what our spiritual path is, or learn more about ourselves, and perhaps even how to utilize our gifts that are opening up. Secondly, one of the other ways that the energy healing world is changing is that the norm is starting to change. As collective consciousness is arising and more people are waking up, it's no longer is it weird or, ostracized to be sensitive or intuitive. Now, so many people are having this experience that there are groups, there are Facebook groups, there are courses, there are books, there are, community. There's more of a on-the-table conversation and discussion about things like becoming empathic or overly empathic, or waking up to intuitive abilities and being able to listen to your gut, even in business. I listen to my gut and make these decisions based on gut instinct, not based on what my mind says. My mind says this, but my gut says something different. Those tools are even utilized in running companies these days. So no longer is it subsurface. That intuition is very different. When I started, 24 years ago, I joke that I had to tell people I was a consultant or something else that made it okay for people to understand what I did. And it only took until I got to know them more that I could really explain what I do. But now it's a little different. Now we have different words we can use, and people aren't as frightened by things like intuition. Second or third is this is important, and this is really the game changer when it comes to intuition, and not just intuition, but the conversation about healing and energy in the planet. And this is what's changing energy healing first and foremost, and it's actually trauma. It's the introduction of trauma on a collective conscious level. And what I mean by that is that trauma has always been in existence, but it's only been, we've had social etiquettes and tribal beliefs about keeping things like feelings and occurrences that have happened to us a secret, keeping them suppressed and don't talk about them. There wasn't a safe place to talk about them. It wasn't safe in the field. And so these things got suppressed until we start waking up, we start expanding in who we are, we start growing, and then these things come to the surface. They start to come to the surface, and trauma is open in the field. And not to mention, now when we think about the group of kids who are in college, graduating college, right around that era, they grew up with mass shootings in the media. They grew up with fear in their school system. They grew up with things like Columbine and Sandy Hook and all these horrible traumas that have occurred in their life. And so we're working with not just trauma that's opening up for us in our past, but a new collective of people who are coming in and who also are working through how to exist in the world and find new forms of safety. Ultimately, with what trauma can do for us is that if we learn to heal it and work with it, we can transform from that trauma and be able to serve in a greater way in the world. But we have to go through the process of healing within trauma. Now, there are, like I said, hundreds and maybe thousands of modalities around working with things like trauma or collective consciousness that touches in on our personal wounds, that help us work with our personal wounds. And one of the things that is so valuable and important, I believe, is that we have a network of various modalities that support each other and work with each other, and we can refer and we can connect and we can, learn different ways to work with different forms of healing in the body. Because it no longer works to say that person has dark energy or wow, that's dark. It doesn't work anymore. I want to be light, get it out of me. It doesn't work anymore. That used to be an older form of energy healing mentality. Now we're all dealing with the dark. Everybody is, and it's not a matter of getting it out of us. It's a matter of learning the tools and the skills on how to work through emotions and trauma and unblocked things in our body, because what's underneath that is our expanded light. It's our truth. It's our center. So this brings me to another element here that I want to talk about, which is unification. And that is that people are unifying as we as healers. And even if you're not a healer per se as a practitioner with others, but you have a healing archetype within you, it's the process of recognizing that I can be a part of a whole. There are other healers out there just like me, or other people just like me going through various forms of healing, and there are different modalities that might address exactly what I'm going through. And is there a way for me to explore those various modalities so that I'm looking at my wounds from various angles? I'm looking at my healing process and my self-actualization from various angles. There are many pathways to our unification with the divine within us. And there are healers and helpers and people along the way who can help us on that journey, guide us on that journey. Which brings me to share that, there really is a rebirth happening right now in the field of energy healing. People are learning how to transform through moving through their own healing process and trauma in order to expand into the light that they're here to be and take those gifts out into the world to help others and to have a footprint here on this earth and to help heal the planet on a collective level, whether that's one person at a time, whether that's through an organization, whether that's environmentally with the planet, whether it's, working with, people on the front line who are there helping others, being the one to help others who help others. So there's a way that in energy healing, there is this rise to stand more strong and tall and supported as we're moving through this world and have roots and also have a container for who we are as healers and for support as we're moving through, our deeper healing, again, for yourself or with others as a practitioner. So I wanted to share with you something that I am so excited about, and I'm thrilled about this, and I would love to bring this information to you. So what it is that I am joining forces with an organization called the National Association of Professional Healers, and it is a collective of healers who are unifying under a client bill of rights, a code of ethics, ethical guidelines, a networking, and the ability to operate within a container that is supported and protected in a field that's not necessarily regulated. Now, we don't necessarily, not that it needs to be regulated, so to speak, but we can't help that it could be at some point. And so the National Association is this organization that provides a container for you to be ethically supported as a practitioner or as someone who is learning, is a healer, and or someone who is looking for healing and would like to work with practitioners who are within this particular guideline and container, sort of a seal of approval, so to speak, from the National Association of Professional Healers. Also, if you are a teacher, if you have a school and you train in a method, you train people in a method, whether it's healers or you train with Reiki or you train in intuition or anything else in the energy healing umbrella, you are welcome to become a provider within the National Association of Professional Healers. And I would love to invite you to their website, and we'll post it in the link below. And when you click on it and look and see what the providers opportunities are here, there are ways that you can have a leadership position within the school, and also we have an annual conference. We are inviting practitioners and providers to join us for the annual conference next August. And if you do go ahead and register for becoming a member of the National Association of Professional Healers, they are giving away right now, it's a free worksheet on business tips, on 4 business tips to support you in getting your business out there. And also they are giving away a free Bella and Canvas luxury founding member t-shirt. So it's a high quality t-shirt that they're giving away to founding members by July 1st. So if you did go ahead and register, we will post the link below. As a member, you will get these special bonuses. And the reason, again, the why is so important here, and why we're offering this is that we do want to provide a container for healers to be able to receive various benefits that's going to support you in unifying you with other healers with an intention that we're operating ethically, that we have a client bill of rights, that we are abiding by particular standards and ethics, and we're working together as a collective to help this planet heal, to help individuals heal. So I encourage you to join me. I'm also a provider in the School of Intuitive Studies. My business is a provider in the National Association of Professional Healers, and I encourage you to join me there. And please feel free to post questions below if you do, and we will answer them. And many blessings to you, and I look forward to seeing you there in the National Association of Professional Healers. Thank you.